recording, and thank you, Christine, for starting the recording. And we are ready for team number 2, Grammar for TESOL. Nagla Salem and Masahito Watanabe. The lead moderator of Grammar for TESOL is Nagla Salem. Nagla, are you ready to present about your success story?
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much, Sonia. I'm very happy to be here to share with you, as Sonia said, our success story for this year's EVO 2025. So the Grammar for TESOL not coordinating, moderating team consisted of myself, a teacher and teacher trainer in Canada, Toronto, Canada, but originally from Egypt, and Masahito Watanabe, who's a university lecturer and coordinator in Japan. And you can learn more about us on our Grammar for TESOL page on the Google Sites for EVO. The plan for today is to just give you a quick overview of Grammar for TESOL, or G for T for short, tell you about some continuing effective practices that we continue to use to facilitate our session. Wata will be talking about 2025 editions that we had, and at the end, I will be sharing some challenges and future considerations for EVO 2026, which is going to be our 7th iteration of G4T. So quick overview with the abstract. In a nutshell, Grammar for TESOL offers new and experienced TESOL instructors theoretical and practical insights into grammar teaching and learning. Through hands-on interactive content, participants are provided with multiple opportunities to develop and receive feedback on grammar instructional materials and error correction practices. As they evaluate and utilize online and AI-generative technology. This is a list of the objectives. So this year, participants reflected on and shared their beliefs about learning and teaching grammar, reviewed and acquired necessary foundational theoretical knowledge related to pedagogical grammar, implemented Universal Design for Learning, or UDL principles, to create inclusive and accessible grammar instructional materials. They also explored, practiced, and evaluated the use of several online and AI tools to improve grammar-focused materials, apply their understanding of TPAC as they created and showcased grammar-focused lesson plans and materials, reviewed and practiced a variety of error correction and feedback provision strategies on sampled student products, and evaluated online and AI tools to improve their feedback strategies. And finally, set and shared professional development goals for their prospective grammar-focused teaching. Wata will now tell us about our 2025 session participants. Go ahead, Wata.
Okay, thank you, Nagra. I would like to give an overview of the participants of G40. The record of Canvas shows over 100 active participants for the course. This is the largest number of all the G40 sessions so far. They came from all over the globe. For example, from Pakistan, the largest over 70, Ecuador, Japan, Brazil, Russia, Syria, Greece, Venezuela, Ukraine, El Salvador, 2 participants, Georgia, Panama, USA, Belarus, Mexico, France, Peru, Philippines, and Macedonia. We later learned that one Pakistani university professor recommended 20 of his students to join G40 with him. We saw a large variation in participants' level of teaching experience. Some had experience with more than 10 years, some were beginner teachers or teacher trainees. We also had undergraduate with no teaching experience. Nagla, please move on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Wata. Let me just I think I forgot to mention that the LMS that we used for Grammar for TESOL was the Canvas Free for Teachers platform, which worked very well for us. And now I'm just going to quickly walk you through our weekly focus. So week 1 was ensuring that our participants were able to easily navigate the Canvas LMS, introduce themselves, and then explored grammar-related teacher beliefs. Week 2 was centered around teacher knowledge, different aspects of teacher knowledge, pedagogical content knowledge, TPAC, UDL, and also knowledge of our learners. Weeks 3 and 4, the shift was towards practice, and our participants got to create grammar focused lesson plans, and also shared with us their error correction methodologies and feedback provision strategies on sample student work. And with those two, there was the focus on incorporating UDL and AI as well. And then at the end, they got to share their experience, their Grammar for TESOL experience, as well as look ahead as to what their professional goals are going to be after G14. Now I'm going to move on to talk about some practices that we felt continue to be effective for our session. The first one is we constantly invited reflection. So we invited our participants to reflect on their teaching, on their understanding of grammar, on the use of AI. We got them to respond to surveys in weeks 1 and 4, and then we would share the results of the surveys, and then we would encourage participants to further reflect on the results of the surveys. Reflection was also provided through Padlets, through polls, through different reading activities that we had. And we also, with every practice-oriented task, they got to reflect on or justify, provide a rationale for their instructional choices. We also got them to reflect on the PD experience itself. So end of week 3, we asked them to complete a mid-session feedback survey so that we can better facilitate the session to meet their needs. And in week 5, we asked them to reflect on the PD experience and on their own individual PD goals. This is, as you can see, a very busy Padlet wall where participants got to reflect on grammar metaphors, what grammar represents to them, and present that in the form of a metaphor. Very, very creative responses we had here. And then here we have some quotes from some of our very active participants responding to or reflecting on the week 1 survey results. So one of them was Fariel Amin, where she she mentioned, excuse me, she said this survey results helps us understand how teachers think about teaching grammar, which will be useful for improving future courses. Our own experiences as teachers and learners have definitely influenced our views. The relationship between the teacher and the student, the teacher's knowledge, the learning environment all play a significant role in successful grammar teaching. And then for the week 4 survey on error correction, again, reflecting on the survey results, we have Tatiana Amielshuk, reflecting and again sharing her reflection, where she says at the bottom here, most of us think that written feedback should be given in the margins as well as summative endnote. When it comes to commenting on our students' mistake, we differ due to our teaching context and due to our personality as teacher. Using ChatGPT for writing is possible, no one can deny it, but students should be given clear instructions prior. So this was responding to the results that we got on a question related to incorporating ChatGPT or any AI tool for students' self-editing process. We also, as I mentioned, towards the end of the session, we got our participants to create word cloud reflections where they have prominent words that represent their Grammar for TESOL experience. And we have several here. Hopefully you will get the time to read some of them. Alexandra James, Maria Mu or Mumi, all very engaged and active participants. Mohammed Arfan Lodhi and Chia Takide, and all of them were focused on how they appreciated the variety of the resources, how they appreciated being introduced to different methodologies, and also commented on how this is going to help them in the future. Okay. Other effective practices was what we felt when with all the previous iterations of Grammar for TESOL, we saw that participants came to us with a variety of self-identified PD goals and needs. They have different teaching contexts, different time constraints, commitments, varying levels of digital confidence. And this got us to continue to provide different types of resources, different levels of complexity, length, modality as well, just to make sure that we cater to their needs. And also, they were provided with multiple options for demonstrating the learning. Different modalities as well, different topics were offered. We also encouraged social interaction, and this is something that we continue to do. And of course, as all the other EVO sessions, interaction was very prominent in our session through Padlets, Canvas discussion forum, social and interactive reading. Like when we, like as you see on the screenshot here, we have participants highlighting certain ideas in reading text, and then interacting, adding a comment, responding to other participants' comments or answering questions and so on. And of course, we had weekly live meetings where we summarized previous weeks and introduced upcoming weeks. And we didn't have a large number of attendees, but those who attended were very, very engaged. And it was such a pleasure having them sharing their experiences, their challenges, discussing AI. So it was a pleasure having them. And now Wata is going to talk about our 2025 editions. Go ahead, Wata.
Okay, Universal Design for Learning, UDL, is the pedagogical framework that aims not to leave a single student behind in a class. It is designed to meet the diversity of learners. It gives a lot of insight to education in general. In the article titled, Why Does UDL Matter for English Language Learners? Novak, 2018, describes her grandmother who moved from Quebec, Canada, a French-speaking city, to another city where English is the dominant language. Although she was not able to speak English at all, she was determined to learn English. She went to a local market to teach herself English. She would pick up anything sold there, pointed at the handwritten signs posted above the hood, and asked, "Qu'est-ce que c'est?" The shop owners and customers were always patient and helped her. She gradually improved her comprehension. She used multiple means of representation. For example, real objects, letters, and sounds. She learned a lot from the interaction with the various people in the market, and she was so engaged with learning English. UDL is founded upon the cognitive neuroscience model and incorporates three major neural networks: engagement, representation, and action and expression. The story about the former French-speaking lady shows how these three networks had worked for her language learning. Next slide, please. Okay. Upon closer examination of UDL framework, it became apparent that it encompasses several key principles of second language acquisition (SLA). For example, as for the engagement network, Krashen 1985's affection filter can be connected. It suggests that learners' motivation and emotional state impact language acquisition. And of course, Donate 2009's motivation theory. As for representation network, Crash and 1985's input hypothesis can be connected. Comprehensible input can be attained by carefully providing options and scaffolding for language and symbols. As for action and expression network, Swain 1985's output hypothesis and Long 1983 and 1996 interaction hypothesis can be connected. They maintain the significance of language production and interaction, especially for the reformulation of learners' interlanguage. D. Kaiser 2007 maintain the importance of language practices. They are also referred to in this network for the internalization of grammar items. In addition to making them comprehensible, SLA research highlights the significance of oral production and the interaction of the targets, as well as making material interesting and motivating. SLA findings can be neatly located on UDL guideline. Next slide, please.
Sorry to interrupt, 4 minutes remaining. Thank you.
Okay. Another addition for G40 this year was exploring AI for grammar lessons. We provided some general resources for completing the week task, and after that we provided resources for AI. Thus, participants can choose if they use AI or not. Week 3 task was share your lesson plan. Before the topic of AI use, we explained the significance of seeking sound pedagogy required for the use of AI. We shared a list of tools as well as videos that demonstrate using AI for lesson plan, exercises, instructions, rubrics for assessment. We provided resources for the traditional grammar coursebook also. A balance of curiosity and skepticism is significant. Next slide, please. Week 4 task was share your error correction sample and rationale. To correct or not to correct. Teachers' error correction and feedback have been a controversial topic. Again, after we provided some basic resources for the topic, we introduced AI tools for grammar self-check, grammar feedback, and grammar learning. We never forgot to provide the resources for ethical and critical uses of AI. As you can see from the right to the prompt, is this a complex sentence? For example, because of the rain, they decide to stay in a house and watch a movie. ChatGPT judges this is a complex sentence. However, this is not the case. We should ask ourselves, seeing the AI input, how would you explain? Or is the output relevant for your lesson overviews, lesson objectives? Nagla, please move on.
Okay, thank you very much, Wata. So very quickly about the challenges that we faced this year and some future considerations. So as Wata mentioned, we had a large number of participants, unprecedented number of participants, and we're a very small moderating team. So it was quite a challenge for us to respond to every post as we would want to. And several participants rushed through the tasks and focused on getting the badge. And of course, this entailed a lot of reminders, like we had to remind them to please follow instructions, and we had to go back and review resubmissions and so on. Another challenge was some academic integrity issues and over-reliance on AI, as far as not using it in the critical way that we would expect in order to align with the intended tasks that we offered. So future considerations, we think of making sure that we have a clear discussion about thoughtful use of AI in week 1.
Remaining.
Sure. In week 1, in addition to netiquette and a quick note on academic integrity, you know, to have like a more space on that. And we're also considering alternative ways to acknowledge meaningful contributions. So alongside or maybe substituting weekly badges and the final certificate, but ways to acknowledge meaningful engagement from our participants. So yeah, so that's it. Those are the references of some of the work that Wata mentioned. And any questions? And this is our, here is how you can contact us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nagla and Wata. Amazing. Speechless. So many participants, only 2 of you, and so much work. If there are any questions, I can see in the chat there are congratulations and remarks. It's great to see so many participants from all over the world joining your session.
I have a question. I'm very curious, Nagla and Wata. So I'm teaching freshman English, and I would like to know if, like, for the AI, if you would encourage students to use AI to check on their grammar in their writing piece and how. And I'm sure you've discussed
That's
this in your
a
session,
million,
right?
I don't know, dollar question. Yeah. So, what did you want to talk about the results of the survey with regards to the question on using AI for student self-editing process?
Yeah, in fact, participants learned that the use of AI will unburden teachers' work. However, on the other hand, it can easily be the tool for plagiarism, and so we language teachers should first of all be careful about the use of AI. So maybe we give some caution or warning or some introduction to our students just to use the AI for checking the materials. But in addition to that, they should compare before and after the use of AI. So using the AI should contribute to their learning. So this is quite important, I think. Okay.
Agree. Thank you. Yes. Comparing before and after and giving a list of areas they needed to improve. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Jane. And Nagla and Vata, are you thinking already of offering your session next year again?
Yes, we hope so.
Thank you very much. I can see in the chat that you already have some people interested.
Great. Great to hear. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop the sharing now.
Thank you, Nagla. Let me check in the chat if there are any more questions for you. Quite a lot of just congratulations. Christine says, Christine, would you like to ask your question?
Oh, it was not a
Oh,
question.
sorry,
It was just a comment.
just a comment. Let me read it then.
Oh, it's a comment to Nagla, you know, because she was the moderator in 2 sessions and lead moderator of her own and had this large number of participants, which we knew from the beginning, and yet she never neglected her commitment to DBP, never.
And both very demanding.
Thank you so much,
So-
Nagla. I really appreciated that.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Thank
Christine,
you
for the
so
kind
much.
words.
Both
Appreciate it.
roles with a lot of work in them. Thank you, Nagla.
Thank you.
If there are any more questions, please, now it's time to ask. From Mary, congratulations. Here's Laura. Yes, Laura.
لا ارنستيون ماش نستيك هلا
Laura Gregoria, would you like to ask a question or did you just forget to mute your microphone?
I have muted her.
Oh, thank you. Gracia, would you like to ask a question?
No, just congratulate Nagla and Wata. I'm always amazed by this session, and I think what they have done is beautiful. Like Mary was saying in the chat, this addition and incorporation of the frameworks, it's perfect. So ton of congratulations to you both. You did an awesome job.
Thank you so much, Gracia.
So Nagla, you can see there are many of us waiting for the time we'll find some time to enroll your session, but definitely waiting, wanting, and admiring your session. Great session. Thank you.
Thank you also.
And for me, it's great to see how important grammar still is.
It is.
And
When you-
that was just so reassuring to see the number of participants joining your session, Nagla. I would have been totally off, you know, with the advent of AI. I thought everything was going to go that direction. And, you know, but it's good to see. And of course, we know how much needed grammar still is. You know, it seems like native speakers' English is getting worse and worse. with
and there is a problem with
singulas.
global speakers. I mean,
Yeah,
people
well,
who speak English as a foreign language, they rely so much on everything else but learning the proper grammar. So, and the teachers are reluctant to introduce grammar, don't know how to. So that's a very
Right.
relevant topic for new teachers and experienced teachers. And ongoing problem with EVO. Every year there are so many sessions and so much, and you have to find time for all of them, and it's impossible. Impossible. Again, we must recommend only 1 or 2 sessions every year, and to plan in advance. So plan for next year.
Good. Okay. Should I conclude the recording right now?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so, because there are no more questions.